would taste awful, like absolutely awful.
First came COVID, then a second wave. They say a third is coming. Now the virus is mutating.
I'd walk 2 blocks away from the apartment, and I would get confused as to how to get back home.
Meanwhile, patients who'd recovered from COVID started to report some unusual after effects. The symptoms were different but hard.
My hearing has been okay, I think. That's one of those things where it's like...
Researchers all over the world are trying to determine the many aches, pains, and other problems, and then turn it all into numbers.
Show you my hair. If you look here at the dates, it's 11/13 there. This was throughout the day. My hair just, it fell out.
Various sources report that COVID didn't just leave for 35% of recovered patients.
Уже через год люди с постковидом будут получать гораздо больше в объеме помощь, чем они получают сейчас.
There have been many complaints of hair or vision loss, joint pain and fatigue. In the US, these patients are referred to as post-COVID long haulers.
I talked to multiple doctors and my doctor, and they said, we have a feeling that you're going to have a hard time in recovery. You're going to be one of those people that they consider a long hauler.
Amanda.
Maybe we'll go somewhere. Never know, it's 2020.
Former archaeologist Amanda Finley has lost her driving confidence.
I have not driven my car much in the last 3 months. I've been sick. It looks like someone took some glass and ground it up and put it in your lungs. And I had it on both sides. It was bilateral ground glass opacities.
Contracting coronavirus twice, in spring and autumn, is what left her with heart issues like tachycardia, rashes, and vision impairment in her left eye.
I still do have some post-COVID symptoms. The big one is fatigue. I do take a medication that helps with that. Otherwise, I would be asleep right now without it. And then when I heard from one of my best friends that their sister was also still having problems. And then a friend in Alabama said, hey, I've got a good friend here who is also having problems as well. So, and it was actually her idea. She was like, hey, you should start one of your Facebook groups for this. I said, yeah, that's a great idea. I should do that. And then I fell asleep for a month, and then I did it. Okay.
Archaeology was at a standstill anyway, Amanda told herself. That's how she became a blogger and started a Facebook group for people like her.
The group is called COVID-19 Long Haulers Discussion Group. There are 10,200 people in the group right now. It was started back in June. I thought maybe I would find 50 people like me. I found a few more. I wasn't expecting 10,000.
Now her days start and end with talking to other COVID long haulers.
And like I not all get together.
Yeah.
Phone. Hey.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I totally get that feeling.
Their discussions reveal a common topic. See a doctor, tell them what's wrong, and all you hear is, you're fine, you're just over-anxious.
That's an entirely different ballgame when you're navigating being a long hauler without insurance. You can't just go out and get every test. You play a lot of guessing, like, I guess this is okay. I guess I don't feel bad in this way, so I guess things are fine. And that's really scary. It's really scary.
Scientists don't yet know which are post-COVID symptoms and which aren't, says Professor Ansha Baranova of the Institute for Biohealth Innovation at George Mason University.
Это не особенности COVID-19. У нас есть вирусы, огромное их количество. И на самом деле таких вот признаков, что вот у этого вируса четко вот это, а у другого вируса четко вот это, и прям вот так глядя на один признак можно сделать диагностику, такого нет. У нас просто есть способы реакции нашего организма на вирусы, и на некоторые вирусы мы реагируем, ну, немножко одним способом, на некоторые немножко другим. Но температура там почти всегда присутствует, например, или там усталость.
This is actually my favorite drive in Kansas City. I love this back road that goes up to my old apartment. with 10,000 people in the group, I still try to get to know as many of them as I can. And I do worry about them. And we did lose someone last month from the group. It wasn't someone I interacted with often, but I just dread the day that we lose someone close to me. I dread losing anyone.
This minivan has already become popular in Kansas City. Amanda removes the back seats and loads up with food to deliver it to homeless people and COVID long haulers. Today, she's brought a toy for a family under lockdown. It's Lego with a father, mother, and 6 children. She can't go in, so she leaves her gift at the front door.
Hi, Hannah. I love you. See you later. Some of the medical issues post-COVID are so severe that it's a distinct possibility that someone could have a heart attack or have a stroke. I'm not sure if Desa had a small stroke a few months ago. She really worries me, and she's a very good friend of mine.
Desa.
Hi, buddy.
Just like Amanda, Desa Hanchett caught COVID twice. Even though she jokes, somehow there's nothing funny about it.
And I tried to die. That was pretty cool. Sorry, very dark sense of humor. And then COVID started, being known. We know that it was in China at that point, and 11/17 was the case that I'm aware of, the earliest for the Chinese. And I was actually hospitalized 11/14 of 2019 with the exact same symptoms. And it wasn't until I visited the Mayo doctor that's on that sticky note there. He looked at my scans and he was just like, my God, you had COVID. So, and that's kind of how I got where I am now. I've actually never gotten rid of the headache I've had since November of last year. It just feels like an ice pick. It's just going straight through my eye, clear to the back of my head. And
Since becoming ill, she's had memory issues. Desa now uses 3 systems, reminders on her phone, a day planner, and lots of stickers. They're everywhere. Grocery lists, reminders of when the children get home, medical appointments, shopping times, and laundry lists. This is all my daily stuff, or like things that are important to remember. So I survive with sticky notes. So yeah, this is actually about my COVID experience, kind of. Just writing it down and as I remember it, and yeah. Desa's life has changed completely, so that she's always ready for the worst. She cooks lots of meals for her 5 children in advance.
You just learn to build your life around the illness, if that makes sense. I can just pop something in the oven and we're good for days, because I don't know how long, It may be 2 days, it may be 5 days, but basically everything is in preparation for the next flare, and then it passes, and then you just prepare for the next one.
Whoa! How are you, buddy?
Good.
I missed you.
I have a long hair, so this stuff actually affected me so badly that my hair fell out, and then the medications too. So. Actually, here I can show you. This is something that was pretty traumatic. Show you my hair. Was, if you look here at the dates, it's 11/13 there. And this was throughout the day. My hair just, it fell out. And this isn't counting all of the hair that fell out around the house, and I vacuumed up. And this is compacted. It was actually a bigger ball until I smashed it up. My hair is normally like down to here, down to my waist. All right, well, here is what I normally look like. Waist-length hair, very thick, very healthy looking. I actually didn't look my age.
It was only a year ago that Desa had wanted to become a pilot. She dreamed of flying a plane, but COVID forced her to give up on that dream. Desa is a moderator now. She analyzes data on a website for COVID long haulers and teaches Amanda to cook pasta.
Amanda, do you want to do the honor to dump in the pasta? And you can Sure, go for it.
Do you trust me?
Yeah, go for it. You can't mess it up, I promise.
I've never really fully regained the smell or taste. I lost it initially, and then I smelled bleach, or I would smell like something was burning. There was a time where I woke my children up in the middle of the night thinking the house was on fire, you know, and it wasn't. This box right here contains all of my daily meds. So, and I keep everything all locked up. I mean, it's children. But as you can see, it's full, chock full.
Someone asked me, they said, you know, well, how is it surviving, you know, after having COVID? And it's like, well, I think surviving's the easy part, honestly. I think the living with the after effects is probably 10 times worse than anything from the hospital, because honestly, I don't really remember a whole lot of that.
The website collects data from post-COVID long haulers about their conditions.
When I'm reading about all of these things in the group, how people have blood clots and they're having strokes or just all kinds of things. We have over 200 items on our symptom list. And it's kind of scary to think, gosh, I hope none of this is going on in me, but I don't know.
Jamie.
This one tastes awful. Like absolutely awful. It's a crushed pill. And it's steroid. It used to make me gag and sometimes vomit.
The first thing Jamie Novak tells us is what we should do if she passes out during our interview.
You'd have, put the gloves on, you'd wipe off the area with the alcohol, then you would take the syringe out, you would draw up basically out of here, you'd push this down, shake it up, and you would put the syringe in there and you draw up the medication from out of there into the syringe. And once you have the syringe filled, you'd push the air out, and then you would have to literally inject it pretty much into my thigh, and then call 911.
Jamie is a student nurse, but this time she's one of the patients. In April, she learned that she'd contracted COVID-19.
We get the results from the nurse practitioner, called me herself. Usually they have the front desk people call and said, Miss Novak, I need to apologize to you. You have COVID. And I said, really? No kidding. You're joking me, right?
11 days in hospital and 4 months on oxygen, all with chronic comorbidities. Patients like Jamie are known as high risk.
Being there, knowing that you're dying, basically, and you're fighting not to, and knowing that you don't know if you're gonna see your kids again, or your family. And my son was graduating 8th grade. Well, I was so sick, I didn't have the heart to tell him I wasn't able to watch his graduation, even though it was online. I was gonna watch it with him. I was so sick that I couldn't. Or my daughter, who helped take care of me, both of them, when I was sick. If it wasn't for them, basically, I probably wouldn't be here. And here's me basically scared that I'm gonna die here and my kids are gonna see me die like this.
As a COVID long hauler, Jamie was determined to hold tight and keep going to the bitter end. She does it with the help of about 17 different meds that she takes each day.
So this is Keppra. That's a seizure medication. This one here, the little yellow one, that's pantoprazole. It's for pretty much blocks the acid in your stomach. When I take the prednisone, that's the steroid. Basically, this one will help protect for that. And then that's a low-dose zinc, and so just a supplement. And then this one is Zyrtec, so allergy supplement.
These days, long haulers show their x-rays, electrocardiograms, and lab test results as if they were pictures in a family album.
So this is pre-COVID, this is COVID, and then me now.
COVID gave her shortness of breath, fatigue, hair loss, and a rash. It also took away her fiancé. It has ruined all her plans.
February 29th, I got engaged, and I see my fiance maybe every other month or so for a day or two. And other than that, basically, it's interrupted our relationship. His kids, I have not seen them I honestly don't remember the last time I've seen his kids. We've been together for a long time, so many years. So it's pretty devastating to lose those relationships and not have that closeness or that support when you need it. But that also puts back all the other plans that I had are on hold with my wedding and with basically I was going to be, buying a house.
Those changes made her reflect on the value of human life that's been lost in all the statistics about total deaths every day, in the US alone.
You feel insignificant. Like, basically, if you die, it's okay because you had chronic health issues. Big deal. What difference were you making in the world? What difference do you mean to me?
British researchers studying people who'd recovered from severe COVID found that the disease caused a reduction of around 10 years in life expectancy, with slight differences for men and women.
У нас вообще женщины, с одной стороны, покрепче вообще как пол. То есть мужчина же, это же слабый пол, вы же знаете, да? Вот. С точки зрения физиологии, однозначно, женщина – это сильный пол. Вот. Но и можно поэтому было бы сказать, что вот в мужчинах больше пострадали. Но на самом деле женщины больше пострадали. То есть 11 – это для женщин, а 9 – это для мужчин, просто потому что женщины, они живут дольше, поэтому у них период дожития больше, да? И поэтому они теряют больше. Ну, просто потому что у них этот хвостик остаточной жизни, он длиннее, чем у мужчин.
Mindy.
It's painful. Can you hear me popping everywhere?
Not so long ago, Mindy Daggerty enjoyed painting in her basement art studio. It was how she expressed herself and relieved stress.
I used to teach classes with, I learned to do acrylic pouring a couple years ago and decided to teach it to people because it was a very different type of art that you get to do. It is done, it's like a fluid art, if you will. So with this type of art, you use paint, acrylic paint, and you have a specific medium that you use with it. And you mix colors and you get to throw it on a canvas and you get to create. Some of the stuff is just all on canvas and just really fun colors. And I felt this was a really good way to express myself. I had many people that would tell me, I don't know how to do art, I can't paint, I can't do this. And I assured them that you would be able to do acrylic pouring because acrylic pouring is very, very simple.
Mindy calls her basement her home office, a study to work in and her shelter, but it's been getting increasingly hard to take refuge there.
But I can't do it with COVID now. I can't even get my brain to wrap around doing some of that stuff or the marketing that you do to be able to get people to come to your classes and then having to be prepared to present to people. This was my place. This was my place. And then now it's just, I can't use it anymore. All right, let's get back up the steps.
Her husband said it was nonsense when she imagined she was a grape or walked on clouds, but it is what she felt. That was before he knew about the burning sensation in her nose, as though breathing chemical fumes.
Okay, almost there.
Mindy fell ill on July the 2nd. Coughing, pain, an ambulance ride, 4 days of delirium.
That's hard. I'm just glad I'm not there anymore. I'm glad that I made it through because there were so many people that didn't. Yeah, that's me with an IV. And then there's me and Mario. Yeah, he was there and kept me going.
She documented her COVID journey online, but of exactly how it went, the IT specialist has no memory.
I don't remember taking selfies of myself and posting them to Instagram or to Facebook. I don't remember taking these pictures, and this was at the hospital. And I don't look like me. This is not me at all. I talked to multiple doctors and my doctor, and they said, we have a feeling that you're gonna have a hard time in recovery. You're gonna be one of those people that they consider a long hauler.
A new reality has set in. Muscle pain, fatigue, aches, racing pulse ringing in the ears, constant anxiety. Welcome to the Long Haul COVID Club.
I know the difference between regular anxiety and then this other thing that COVID gave to me that I could not control. It was having just crazy like panic attacks, and I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't get it to stop.
Before COVID, she helped people have a good time wherever she went. She ran a small events business, planning weddings, festivals, and so on.
In order to make a memory for them. And that was really special to me, to do like a kid's birthday party, and they would walk in the room and they would be like, this is for me, right? And it was like, you know, that was the gratification that I felt, and the happiness that I felt meant more than how much I was gonna get paid, which, by the way, wasn't very much. But it was very special. It was a special feeling, and it was my passion.
And I'm really proud of the group. We've collected people who are long haulers, people who are first-line physicians or nurse practitioners treating post-COVID patients. We have research scientists, people who are also moderators in our group, who are making sure that we have good content that's getting out there.
Ansha Baranova believes that such social media patient groups will help medical research. In the late 1900s, similar groups helped introduce the term chronic fatigue syndrome, or fibromyalgia, which wasn't recognized before but can be treated effectively these days. History may now repeat itself with COVID long haulers.
Поэтому эти пациентские организации стали намного более сильными. Ну и как бы пролоббировали концепцию, что их заболевание существует. Это имеет прямое отношение к тому, что происходит сейчас, потому что это то, что происходит с коронавирусными больными. Сейчас они организуются и говорят, что у нас длинный ковидный хвост. Давайте нас изучайте, дорогие доктора, ученые.
The most common symptoms that people are dealing with, we have extreme fatigue. Like it's bedridden type fatigue. Brain fog is a big one, where you're trying to think of a word, maybe you're trying to think of the word leg, and instead of leg, something crazy comes out like lettuce. And it's like there's this disconnect in your brain.
Michael.
One of the first things I noticed that was troubling after supposedly recovering from COVID is that I started getting lost. And by that I mean I'd walk 2 blocks away from the apartment and I would get confused as to how to get back home.
Michael Reagan was a vascular surgeon, but now only attends his own doctor's appointments. Most importantly, he writes a note before leaving, where he's going and why, and where to come home.
This is the store where I had the seizure and passed out, and I had Wolf with me. And luckily, someone grabbed him. And when I came to, there was a group of people standing around asking if I wanted them to call 911.
From that point on, I was scared to leave my apartment unless I was accompanied by someone or unless I was going to a doctor appointment.
Sometimes now the left side of his face twitches, his left eye sees stars and black spots, and his arms act on their own, independent of his body.
And then I had another seizure. And I remember looking at my hand and I couldn't control it. And I had one like right in front of my dog. And I think I scared my dog to death because he was just looking at me like this, and he peed on the bed and he started barking at me and pawing at me.
Disorientation, a burnt plastic smell, the taste of blue cheese, and feeling as though he's been poisoned. The new sensations Michael experienced after COVID. But he is supported by his friends and family.
If I was on my own, I would have died because I probably would have never gone to the hospital and I would have died at home, you know, like several of my friends have.
Michael used to lead a healthy life with lots of sport, cycling, climbing, and scuba diving. But now everything has changed.
So this is my bike. This is mine. As a result of COVID, it's no longer safe for me at the moment to ride my bike. And also, I don't have good motor skills for the brakes. I feel like I'm in the body of an 80-year-old person now with all of these multiple health issues and all this damage from the virus and all the side effects of the medications I have to take, you know? My experiences, it nearly killed me. And some days I wish it had killed me because I feel like my quality of life right now is some days it's not worth living. What I have found that helps me on the days that I feel like absolute hell and I can't sleep and I'm so sick, I have these support groups that I'm a member of, and I find someone else on there who's having a worse day than myself. And I tell them, I say something like, keep your chin up, you know, you're loved and supported here, you're not alone. This is my cello. Because of the tremors in my hand, I haven't had the same motor skills as pre-COVID. I have basically no feeling from here to here, as I've kept it on the wall right here to remind me of why I'm going to these doctor's appointments. And this gives me something to keep motivated on the days when I feel like hell and I don't want to get out of bed. I remember I have to keep pushing because one day I want to practice my cello again.
So it's going to take months. But I have hope. I have little victories each day of the things that I can get done. And if you know anything about me, I am a very determined person. Like I said, don't ever tell me I can't do something because I'm going to prove you wrong, because that's how I am. So I am determined to get better.
I never thought I would ever say this, but I'm kind of grateful I got sick because I am very grateful for life. Like I said before, I kind of took it for granted. We don't see what's right in front of us sometimes if we're being negative, and it takes something big like that to redirect your focus and your perspective. So that's what it's done for me. So I'm very grateful.
It's my collection of community here at my bedside. It's one of the first things I see when I wake up. So this one is one of the first ones I got from one of the mods in our group. And I was still sick at the time. This was back in October. She said, "Dear Amanda, thank you for everything seen and unseen that you do." That's from Teresa. I love you, Teresa. Let's see. I really like this. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars.